section today. Listening to, I don't know what happened between VDM and more electoral, but whatever it is, I guess I didn't watch that part. But moving along with what's going on, Mr. Elvis, I went through Section 50 of the Electoral Act. We know some weeks back we talked about it, and I read some sections for everyone, to get on with the reality of this is what we are facing. And I'm going to read it again. Section 50 says, the Act provides for an open secret ballot. INEC is authorized to determine the procedure to be adopted in voting and transmission of results. I'm going to repeat it. I have to repeat it again. The Act, this is Section 50 of the Act, the interpretation of what was written there, it says, the Act provides for an open secret ballot. INEC is authorized to determine the procedure to be adopted in voting and transmission of results. Also, that is Section 50. Now, I'm going to say, and there's a reason why I'm saying this. The reason why I am stating this out for everybody to see, Mr. Elvis, I sent you a link on your WhatsApp about where I'm reading from, because they actually break it down to layman language so that everybody will understand, which I just read. The reason why I say this is January 16th, which I tell you all that my heart is on January 16th, is because of this act I just read. At the end of the day, whether Peter Obi is in the ballot box, whether Peter Obi goes to another political party, whether the man from Bodno succeeded in making Nigeria a one-party state, and then with all those little minion parties, just to make it feel like we're still practicing democracy, what are Nigerians going to do? And regardless of all the shenanigans happening here, I was listening to what Mr. Jonathan was saying, and what that man was talking about in terms of what's going on within the ADC, and all the games that are being played behind the scenes. What I see here is like, I think we've gone past the explanation. We've gone past the analysis. We all know, and we all know this. In fact, any unborn child already knows this. What they are trying to do is dismantle every political party that Peter Obi is part of, and they're going to do it any way they want to do it, and they have the money for the people who wants the money, or the people who wants to be bribed. Let me put it that way, right? So that is the bedrock of all this. Even if Peter Obi leaves the ADC and goes to another political party, there's going to be issues. What is the way forward? What are Nigerians going to do? I think that's what we should pinpoint, because when you talk, the Electoral Act is there, it's already sitting down there. The Constitution is already, the fraudulent Constitution is already sitting down there. Now, this is something that is intangible, something that is written. The words are hanging in the air, but it's the action that we have to look out for. Is the action. It is human beings who are acting on what was written. What are we going to do about it? I'm sorry, that's just where my mind is focusing. All the optics and all the talk and everything, it's just, we all know what is at play here. We all know we don't have a judiciary system that will back up Peter Obi in any way. They have been paid or bribed. It's obvious. It looks like, let me put my words, because I believe maybe in the midst of 100 judges, there'll probably be one or two who are not bowing down to all these dirty games that's being played, who are not bowing down to the decimation of the Nigerian judiciary system, which has been decimated as far as I'm concerned. But however, if they are going to anybody going to court, post-election, at any point in time, it's good for Nigeria. Before we start shouting wolf, wolf, let us go back to what the National Assembly has signed, what is written. We need to see what is written. We might be hearing a little thing from Peter from Nigeria or Mama P, but we need to see what is written there, because what is written there is what the judiciary is going to use to answer us, and then we start to shout woof woof. There's a lot of things written. I don't think this section 50, it just covers everything as far as I'm concerned with the Electoral Act. So even if you go to court now, the justice system is going to look at all these things, with their lawyers and their sons or whatever, and they will use it against us. What are we going to do? I'm sorry, I'm not going to explain what the law should do, what ADC should do. I've always said it. I've always had that intuition that Atiku is the owner of ADC. Yes. And I think one of the major mistakes that Peter Obi made, and I'm not going to even blame him, I think even some of us, even made prior to the 2023 general elections, he should have created his own political party. That's why Shoro is laughing now, because he has his political party. He's the alpha and the omega of his political party. And even if anybody comes there now, there's no way somebody from the east or the north or the south or the west will say, oh, I resigned, but you cannot do this. Peter Oshoro owns his party. He owns his party. I think that's one of the major mistakes, but we didn't know I don't think Peter Obi knew the depth of rottenness, or rather, not the rottenness, because this is Peter Obi and the rest of Nigeria didn't know the depth of desperation that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has and the kind of character that we were dealing with. I think I did not know the depth of it. We just saw, former drug baron or alleged drug baron. Oh, he forfeited this. He came back. He has been controlling Lagos. We only knew it as per controlling Lagos. We only knew Bola Ahmed Tinubu to that extent. The people that really knew him, like late Pa Adebayo, may God rest his soul, was trying to tell us when he said, if they don't vote Peter Obi, Nigeria is free. We didn't know the depth of the kind of person we were dealing with. We did not know. We thought it was the old method of, when PDP was there or when Buhari was APC, okay, nobody's going to trample upon the judiciary system, the electoral law. Nobody's going to go that deep. We didn't know who we were dealing with. That's the truth. We didn't know. But this man now has entered there, and we are now seeing how deep it is, how far this man has gone through, and is still going deeper. That is what we are left with, unfortunately. Unfortunately. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? I think that's what our minds should be pondering on. What are we going to do? I think the greatest force or the greatest power, let me use the word power, that we have is coming together and taking down this behemoth. Take it down. We can only take it down by uniting. Yes, and anybody who is going against our unity of what we are focused on, that is the enemy. Yes, that is the enemy. But, human nature, people are greedy. People are desperate. People don't care. Yes, people don't care. They don't care about their reputation. We have the city boy movement. It's obvious people don't care about their reputation. They don't care about their family lineage. You see the likes of Daniel Boala. He doesn't give a rat's behind. He's the one that will go as long as who is the highest bidder. So those are the people don't care about reputation. They don't care about their education. They don't care about the consequences. They just care about now and to feed their hunger. And guess what? That hunger can never be satisfied. You and I know that. So that's why it seemed like it's kind of difficult for us to pull through. It seems like there's a lot of snags along the way. Let me use the word or barricade, or there's a lot of traps. Anywhere we turn, there's one trap or the other that we have to deal with. Once we're losing that trap, we're moving along another one. So there's a lot of snag along the way, championed by the man from Bodilon. we never understood, or we never knew the depth of the kind of character, including the judiciary, the likes of Mary Peter Odili's wife, Mary Odili, that blasted Nigerians. I think I have to look for that excerpt of what she wrote before the Supreme Court made their judgment. I think all the Supreme Court justices as at that time, all of them then, they didn't know the depth of what their judgment is going to do to Nigeria today, April 7th, and more is coming. They didn't know. They didn't know. I didn't know. I think a lot of us didn't know. But it's so glaring now that this is even more than physical. They can go that depth of spiritual. And I remember Mr. Jonathan mentioned the other day, all this sharing of rice and all that, it's like you guys are being hexed, HEXED, collecting all these things. And when there's hunger, you don't care if you are being hexed or bewitched. Let me use that simple English. You don't even care because you don't even know. You're trying to satisfy something, you satisfy a need. We're in a big mess. This is politics now. We haven't even talked about the insecurity. We haven't even talked about other social vices, but we just feel, listen, even if Peter Obi even becomes president, looking at everything across the board now, Nigeria, and is promising to be a one-term president. Nigeria is not going to change. Do you know why? The demons are still deep-rooted. They are just waiting to devour when the savior has gone.
Rita, and
Yes.
most of the demons are inside the ADC as well that will hinder
What
Peter
I'm
Obi
saying,
heavily. That
Mr.
would
Helmets,
destroy. So Nigeria is gone. It's gone. This
beyond
country.
beyond the ADC, beyond the ADC, we have people who are non-state actors. There are people who we don't even know, who are not
Yeah.
into. We're not seeing them on TV. You don't know which party they belong to. You don't know which organization. There are people who are the Kraken. I don't know if you guys read the Greek mythology. They are the Kraken that is waiting to arise when the person that's supporting them is at the top. So if Peter Obi
I
comes with
asked
that,
a question. I asked a question the other time. I said, let's assume, because yes, you and I, everybody here, most of us here rather, we are fighting for Peter Obi, right? Peter Obi don't do 4 years in command. So, what is the guarantee of the continuity? Let's assume Peter Obi give us
this is
some of
what
the
I'm
things which we
saying.
know. So, when he leaves office, what's the guarantee that whoever that comes will continue from where he stopped? This
They are
country,
all
a country
they are
where people
all
have criminal
in,
mindset.
yes. They are all in they will all go into hibernation. That's the truth. So that's why you see, even this, to be honest, I'm just speaking my mind. Even this election, I think we should not even go through an election. I think the election shouldn't even hold at all. Seriously, because our problem is beyond this election. Whether they want to do validation of cards, whether they want to make it one party system, you and I, in fact, the unborn Nigerian child, the soil, the dead in Nigeria, they know that we are not practicing democracy. We should not even have an election, honestly speaking. Like I keep saying, I respect Peter Obi a lot. And I think the man has tried his best. He's still trying. Whatever force that's driving him to still want to serve Nigeria, because I guess it's love. Love. They said love is the greatest of all. But the love for a nation that's not willing to change, love for a nation that the psyche has been messed up. I don't know how much love you can give them to change their psyche, their train of thoughts, how they do things, their character. I don't know how long that love can sustain Nigerians to say, you know what, we have agreed to change. Because if Peter Obi becomes president, all those other entities, they will just go into hibernation. Hibernation doesn't mean the end of it. It's just saying, I'm just going to wait. When my time is when the time is right, I'm going to come out. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. So maybe I'm thinking we should. I think Mr. Nadi, I've forgotten his first name. Is it John? John Nadi? when he says, even because you're talking about constitution or election, I remember that time when you brought him to this panel, it was 2023. He said we shouldn't even have an election. I believe him, because if you look deeper, we shouldn't even have an election. Nnamdi Kanu, God bless you wherever you are, sir. And I pray that the Lord will continue to protect you and your family. And I pray that you will be alive. You'll be alive to see the people that needs to be expunged and disgraced out of every system in Nigeria. I pray so. I pray so. Because the judiciary now, Nigerians, they didn't know the depth of what they were doing in 2023 to bring this man to Aso Rock. They didn't know. And this is not just physical, it's more than, it's spiritual. Peter Obi is just a bandage to the deep cuts that we have. It's just a bandage. When you bandage something in the front, you say, okay, the sky is fading, but within the crevices of the skin, within it's not just excoriate something on the surface. Within the crevices, deep rooted, there could still be damaged tissue in the skin. So that's why you feel like it's healed, but at some point you start to get, sepsis or abscess deep rooted, until they open that skin to operate on it again and take out the virus or whatever it is and start to heal it with antibiotic before they can get healing from a deep cut. It's not just bandaging. Nigeria we have a very deep cut, and our cut is personal within ourselves as Nigerians, as each individual. Our court is also our institutions that has been damaged for decades. Not 10 years, not 20 years, not 30 years.
I have a question for you.
What's the question?
Okay, now you're saying that we should not go into election, which I mean I agree with you to an extent. Then what should be the next course? Because we need to save the country. What's the next course?
I just said it. The new order is everybody. The only way to take out the Kraken or the behemoth effect in Aso Rock is for us to realize this is what we need to do. We need to come together. Religion or tribe or geographical location would not influence us in the light at the end of the tunnel that we are focusing on. If we don't do that, because when we come together like that, we say, you know what, let's go back to the drawing board. Yes, let's go. Even if it means at some point you put somebody who is interim that's there, and while we take out these people, whether put them in jail or put them wherever I want to put them, and everywhere is grounded, and let's start from afresh. Let's come together. Let us write a constitution from the north, the south, to the east, to the west, is representative. This is what we want. Okay, from the caliphate down to our traditional institutions, to the Christendom, or even, in fact, the unorthodox religions, everybody come together and say, we want to be a nation. How do we want to rule ourselves? If we don't get there, see, and I'm telling you, the external forces are also influencing this. Yes, the external forces. I'm talking about the West, because of what we have. We are a blessed nation, but we don't realize it. It's like somebody had this parable. It kind of stuck with me. It's saying it's like somebody who has taken care of you, a man who has taken care of you up to the level of feeding you, clothing you, and giving you a job in his company. That man, you would say, this man is the greatest gift to my life, is a blessing to my life. Until you discover that this man has stole your inheritance, gave you less than what you deserve. You will never ever see that man as your enemy. You always see him as your savior. Unless Nigeria discover who they are, what they are worth, what they deserve, they will always have the hallelujah politics, the rice and beans politics. Nigerians, we don't know who we are. And that's why you see people hailing politicians for doing a road. That's why I keep telling people, I don't have to praise any politician, because it's not their money. It's really not their money. If politician is suing another person you know, maybe you don't like that person, they're suing them or demolishing their building. At the end of the day, if they go to court, they can bring all the sons from thy kingdom come. It is your money that I used to pay legal fees. It's the same. That's why I was bringing that analogy of what's his name? This man in Bedo State, Tony Kabaka. When some people were against me, like, oh, when I was saying, how can the government pay him now 100 and something million naira? I was laughing. I was like, that is chicken change. As a matter of fact, the governor of Edo State saved Edo State money because, if not because of education, Tony Kabaka will have sued the Edo State government for 10 billion, and he will win. In a system that works, so he will win. But when the man that was governor before, when he was demolishing, the people were clapping. I was just laughing. And I mean, Elvis, I pray you find that video during that time, because I remember I was in that show. I say, you people are laughing. At the end of the day, who is going to pay for the court case? He said, don't set money. Who is going to rebuild the hotel if they rebuild it? He said, don't set money. It is not the person that was sitting down that we're going to pay. So, in other words, all this shouting that was shouting, this man is giving us rice. The man from Bodman is sharing rice. City boy movement and all that. Now your money that they use, they share. Now your money, now money. They will still go and borrow again. Now you and your children, your generation, that will pay the money back. They will mortgage the oil blocks of Nigeria, and they will just build one small road or one bridge, or what's this? A coastal road. Mr. Office, you say the coastal road is very good. It's very, very smooth. It's your money. And you know what? You are more than a coastal road. Those of you who are in Texas, and I'm sure you know what I thank God give us our Mondays here. Do you know the number of bridges alone? The bridges you see. I said, listen, I live in there, I've traveled, I have never seen a state that has so much bridges. It's just like, and they're still building more. The road is as wide as me. I'm saying, Toronto, we have like five lanes, six lanes. This one, they're even more. Nigeria was so rich that somebody will just build one, maybe they'll use a plank or one big slab of cement, and they'll be shouting, Babake, Megida, will be shouting. Look at Niger Delta. Niger Delta should be more finer than Dubai. Look at Port Harcourt. All those ones that Wike was commissioning, that's crap. It's supposed to be better. It's supposed to be like China. With how China infrastructure is. We're supposed to have speed trains that can move like a bullet, faster than the Orient Express. We're supposed to have, even on underground schools, underground housing. In fact, we're supposed to be a high-tech country by now. People be shouting, they're giving you rights, or they build a coastal road. Mr. Elvis, thank you very much for this opportunity. May I just stop talking now, safe. Thank you.
Thank you.